Hari. Welcome to Sri Krishna Janmashtami. We'll be here all night. Welcome to ISKCON of Silicon Valley. It's not Janmashtami, but we are celebrating in regular intervals, holy days. We have more than our fair share in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Days in which very special devotees appear or avatars of the Lord appear in the world. We celebrate all those because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto, just think of me. And of course, we're always happy when we're celebrating the birthday of a friend. And there are lots of days for us to celebrate of the great souls who have come to the world, what to speak of Krishna himself, who appears from time to time. Just now, as is our tradition here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley, we're counting down the days until a very special day, and it may sound odd, but it's the disappearance day of one of our acharyas, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura. Now, why do we celebrate disappearance days? Because in the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, no one ever dies. We're only passing through. Krishna says, Dehinosmin yatha dehe komaranyovaram jara tata dehantra praptir dhiras tatra namuyati. That a person who sees things as they are, or another way to put it, is they're not bewildered, or they have steady vision and a philosophy in life. Understand that the soul never diminishes. It's always the same, and it's eternal. It always has existed, it always will exist, and it's existing right now in the present. The body, however, in case you haven't noticed, is always changing. And one of the changes, albeit a seemingly dramatic change, is when we leave the present body, but it doesn't mean that we don't have a body after that. It's like when a plant grows, it produces seeds, the plant dies, but then the seeds grow again. Another body arises according to the consciousness that we have. And in the case of those who are great leaders of spiritual movements, otherwise known as acharyas, or those who teach by example and also by precept and in writing, and who establish centers for learning about Krishna consciousness, these special personalities are celebrated when they come and when they go. So when they go, we're celebrating the fact that they're going on in another place to teach Krishna consciousness and carry on their work. And there's an old saying, in fact, it's by Bhaktivinoda Thakura himself, whose disappearance day we're getting ready for, which will be on the 17th of this month. He reasons ill who tells that Vaishnavas die, for Vaishnavas die to live, and living try to spread the holy name around. So the 17th, how many days is that from now?
13 days.
13 days only. So we'll be making an offering on that day to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura revived the movement of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is an avatar of Krishna who appeared to teach Krishna consciousness in the modern age, which is known as the age of Kali. Kali Yuga is a time when people are slow to take to spiritual life because of cell phones. Frankly, I mean, let's be frank, it's because of distraction, and it's coming in the form of many different forms, but technology is one of them. And in general, people have very little time to take to spiritual life, nor much inclination to also. There's a mad rush to get oneself situated in the world, and then one thinks, I'll put it off a little later, and then whoops, happen again. I forgot to take up spiritual life in this present life. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave a method through which everyone, whether one's working, going to school, is retired, doesn't matter what position of life or where one lives, one can practice improving oneself spiritually. And it coincides with a fundamental teaching that comes from the world's oldest scriptures called the Vedas. That's a fact. The Rig Veda is the oldest book known to human society. It's part of the Vedas. And the Vedas conclude that the purpose of human life is to inquire about the Supreme and to take steps to reconnect with the Supreme. And in every age, there's a predominating attitude, feeling. There are 4 major ages, and the age that we're in now, I just mentioned, is Kali Yuga. And there's a special practice in each age that accommodates the people of the age according to their facility and propensities. So in the age of Kali, it is said, Harinam, 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 Eva Kevalam, Kalaunas, Devanas, Devanas, Deva, Gatiranyata. Which means that in this age of Kali, the primary means for making spiritual advancement is sonic theology. Go on a sonic journey by speaking or singing or writing the names of the Supreme, that which have spiritual potency. In fact, all the spiritual potency, the same spiritual potency that Krishna or the Supreme has. There's no difference between the two. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach this, and also the attitude that one could cultivate along with this, which he said we should be very humble like grass, and tolerant like a tree. And then one could practice doing this, what's called Yuga Dharma, the special practice for the age, no matter what situation we're in. As with all movements, they generally, by degrees, start to transform or fade. I should say degrade or fade. And so too did this happen in the movement that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started 500 years ago. Over time, by degrees, there were various innovations led to concoctions, or they were concoctions that led to innovations that deviated people from the straightforward practice that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakura came into the world and revived the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was a great spiritualist and scholar, and also highly placed in his profession. He was a high court judge. And in his spare time, he wrote 100 books, raised 10 children, maintained the best record in India at the time of deciding cases as a judge that were not overturned. And he wrote thousands of songs, each one of them a top hit. So Bhaktivinoda Thakura was a spiritually empowered personality. And those who get to know his works and hear his songs naturally develop an affinity for him. But we owe a great debt of gratitude to Bhaktivinoda Thakura for reintroducing the original teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He single-handedly revived them. And then, along with the help of his son, who also became an acharya, or great luminary teacher, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who also had a disciple. He had many disciples, but one of them is the founder of ISKCON. And his name is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So in this way, there's a line of teachers that pass down what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura is especially noteworthy because he made a turnaround. It had gone underground. Yes, there were practitioners who understood Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, but it wasn't widely practiced, and those who did practice what is called Chaitanya Vaishnavism had deviated so much that they were regarded in society as being some kind of sentimentalists, and people didn't regard the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very well because it was being misrepresented. So Bhaktivinoda Thakura had envisioned a way in which the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could be imbibed and practiced by people all over the world, not just in some cultures in India or some part of India, and not just all over India, but all over the world, because he saw that a spiritual practice is not meant for a particular class or a particular race or a particular ethnic group. It's meant for everybody. It's a universal truth. And therefore, he went about conceiving of ways that it could be spread all over the world. And he was successful. And one of his conceptions was that of a marketplace. And that the marketplace would be a marketplace of the people. People in villages could come together and they would do what they usually do, which is break bread and sit around and talk, but they would sit around and talk about Krishna, and they would chant the spiritual mantra together. And then the food they would eat would not just be regular food from what kind of stores we have these days. Is that Safeway? Slaveway? That's what Damodar used to call it. Safeway and Domino's? I don't know. Dominic's? Whatever. So it wasn't just food off the shelf. It was food offered with love and devotion to the Lord. And he would assign different positions to those that would join these groups. And he called it the Nam Hut. Everyone say Nam Hut. A hut is a marketplace. It was the precursor to Amway. If you're from India, you've heard of Amway, right? No? Not so much? Okay. If not, see me afterwards. No, I'm just kidding. So Amway has this idea of you start up your own marketplace in your garage and invite people over and have them try the product, and then next thing you know, that they can also start one in their garage. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakura conceived of this idea, empower the people. And what would be their product? Their product would be the chanting of the Maha Mantra, spiritual mantra. And he said that you'd have to pay something for it. What would you pay? Well, normally you'd pay by Venmo or Cash App or PayPal, right? Zelle, Cash App, PayPal. Yeah, practically cash is starting to diminish in popularity. But in his marketplace, you would pay with what's called Shraddha. Shraddha means your faith in the holy name. If you had a sense that, yes, this could be true, let me test it out. And a sense that, yes, God is all-powerful. He can appear in any way that he wishes, and let me try this. That would be the price you'd have to pay, only that you have some trust that this could be effective. And then, of course, people would be rewarded, just like you are in any marketing program. The more people you could bring into your Namhat, the more spiritual reward you'd get, like a residual ongoing income. And in this way, he conceived of it spreading, and it did, by this method. And Bhaktivinoda Thakura gave a framework through which his son, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, could work and innovate to integrate the principles of spiritual life into the modern context. That is, that sometimes spiritual processes get stuck in a particular context, and that is that it only work with these kind of people, or only work if you hear it through a particular person, nobody else. But he universalized it and said that anyone could take up this process. It's accessible to everybody. It could be marketed anywhere to any person. Sometimes, and I'm almost repeating myself, but I want to say it in a different way, sometimes the spiritual processes become restrictive, that they can only be taken up by certain types of people. So he said, no, everyone should take it, and it could be available in all marketplaces around the world. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Bhaktivinoda Thakura's son, and the next Acharya then went about developing innovative ways to present Krishna consciousness and the chanting of Hare Krishna so that people could take it with them wherever they would go. For instance, you're waiting for that, right? Give us an example, Vaisesika Das. Yes, so he would have festivals. And the festival was conceived in concentric circles. The outside of the circle would have Ferris wheels and cotton candy. Does that get your blood going? Like, let's go. You know, if you ever see a Ferris wheel, you think, well, I'm going to ride on that. And then speak the most nutritious food on the planet, cotton candy. That's a superfood, in case you didn't know. And so people get excited and they say, oh, yeah, fun, let's go to the fair. And they go there. And then the next circle inward, by degrees, would be more and more presenting the spiritual culture of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu until you got to the center where there would be the chanting of Hare Krishna. So people would be drawn in, just like sometimes you make a little trap to catch insects. Like, come here, it's okay, get a little something to eat. And then zoop, they go in, and then we'll transport you to another region. So this was Bhaktivinoda Thakur's idea, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta fleshed it out, but he had great ambition that it would be able to be spread all over the world. And that's where our founder, Acharya, took up, which was, let's bring it beyond India. So he brought it to America, and first New York, then San Francisco, then many places around the world now. We can rightfully claim that it's been established to one degree or another in every continent of the world. And practically everywhere you go, there's an opportunity to enter into an environment like this, where people are practicing Krishna consciousness, as we call it, devotional service, bhakti yoga, or Krishna consciousness. So this is all due to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's innovation and inspiration to see the world happy. Because, as Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, unless you're engaged in practices that bring you to spiritual consciousness, you may be mistakenly engaging in activities that drag you down into misery. He says, Yehi samsparshaha bhoga dukkha yonaya evate adyantavanta konteya nateshu ramate buddha. That the appearance of happiness in the world is a kind of mirage, just as there's real water somewhere, but when you see the reflection of it in the desert, it's likely to be false. That is, you see a lake in the desert, but there is no lake, there's no water there. It's just a reflection of water, just heat waves that appear to be a lake. So this world, Krishna says, is very attractive because it's a reflection of reality. So it appears that I can quench my thirst here, but if I try, then I may end off worse than where I started. Therefore, one should find out the source of that reflection and take advantage of it. So one of the ways that Bhaktivinoda Thakur introduced the concept of spiritual practice and how to be happy, which follows the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the avatar of Krishna who appeared over 500 years ago, which is to hear from the book called Srimad-Bhagavatam. In the Srimad-Bhagavatam, there's a discussion between high-minded souls. Shukadeva Goswami and Parikshit, who is a king who had 7 days to live. So in their conversation, Shukadeva brings up other conversations, and one of the other conversations is between Srila Vyasadeva and his teacher, Narada Muni. So even Vyasadeva is considered to be an incarnation of Krishna. It's called the literary incarnation. But even he had a spiritual master for guidance. His spiritual master was Narada Muni. And Narada Muni, in the course of teaching Vyasadeva, said that whatever you desire to describe in this world, that's separate in vision from the Supreme, will simply react with different names, forms, and result to disturb your mind, the way a boat on water is disturbed by the wind. And therefore, he advocated that one develop a culture of hearing Srimad-Bhagavatam. Srimad-Bhagavatam is a beautiful book. It's written in the most eloquent of languages, Sanskrit, and the Sanskrit within Srimad-Bhagavatam is revered by linguists all over the world. Whatever discipline they're from, they appreciate not only Sanskrit, but especially the writings of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. And rightly so, because as the Srimad-Bhagavatam itself declares, Tadvag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abhadyavatyapi namanyanantasya yoshon kitani shinvanti gayanti grananti sadhava. That the language in the Srimad-Bhagavatam is not from this world. It's from a different realm. It's from the fourth dimension, Turiya. It's beyond the dimensions of the material world. And therefore, when one comes in contact with the sound vibration, one will have a positive transformation in one's life. Say, well, how do you prove that? Vaisesika Das? That sounds like a pretty outlandish claim. He said, well, you have to try it. Try it for yourself. You can tell the difference between hearing the 24-hour news cycle, which has tendencies to sensationalize everything that's happening in the world, so it will inspire you to consume more because of a sense of anxiety. What's going to happen next? Am I going to survive? Will I still have my 401k? And all these types of anxieties rob our attention. But when we hear Srimad-Bhagavatam, on the other hand, it is said, Vidyate hridaya grantish chijante sarva samshaya shyante chasya karmani drishteva manishvare. There's a way in which the Srimad-Bhagavatam reestablishes our awareness of our higher self. And by doing so, it also cuts the psychological knots that bind us to the temporary attractions in this material world, which leaves a person in a joyful state called Brahmabhuta and beyond. There's higher stages besides just self-realization. That's a very preliminary step. And the Srimad-Bhagavatam in 18,000 verses with stories. Anybody here like stories? Okay, everyone else, cover your ears. It's full of stories. And hearing these stories, there's pictures. Did I mention there's pictures? Yeah, many, many pictures. Anybody here like pictures? Pictures and stories? Yeah. So by hearing the stories and looking at the pictures, the Srimad-Bhagavatam then transforms our heart and helps us to rise above the anxieties that we may have because of our life situation. Anybody here have a life situation? In any hot water right now? Anybody? Anticipating anything? Well, Srimad-Bhagavatam can elevate whomever listens to the Bhagavatam to the highest position of spiritual consciousness. This is the claim. One has to try it. So every year in the world, we embark upon a universal effort to distribute Srimad-Bhagavatam, which we have now in dozens of languages. It goes out to the people of Africa, France, and Germany. Call out your favorite language. Spanish. I said French. Portuguese. Italian, you can get it in Italian. You notice a lot of European languages are covered because the Krishna conscious movement started there and it was translated first into many of these languages. In any case, our endeavor each year as a united group, that is, all those who are followers of Bhaktivinoda Thakura all over the world, unite together in whatever language they speak to distribute Srimad-Bhagavatam. There's a special date every year that we aim for, and that is called Bhadra Purnima. This year it's on September 29th, 28th, 29th in India. Is it 28th or 29th? Checking. On that date, the Bhagavatam says, when you give away a set of Srimad-Bhagavatams to someone else as a gift, do you like to get gifts? Yeah, I was with some godbrothers last night, and one of them gave a gift to another, and it was like, oh, there's this natural feeling of, wow, that's nice. So it's a time which we hope will become more popular than the gift giving that takes place during Christmas and Diwali combined. The gift giving of Bhadra Purnima will be rife, R-I-F-E, all over the world, with people giving out the Srimad-Bhagavatam to whomever they'd like to offer this transcendental sound vibration to. This is called Bhadra Purnima. And so we have an interim point, because we have very high goals here. Or at least each year we increase our goals for the numbers of Srimad-Bhagavatams that we distribute all over the world. And, or I should say here, as part of the world effort at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. Last year, if I'm not incorrect, we were able to distribute 2,500. Is that right? Yeah. That's a lot of sets of Bhagavatams. If we put them all in this room here, we wouldn't have room for any of us. And if you come here, or if you set up a camera for time lapse, you'll notice trucks coming into our parking lot regularly and putting pallets down full of Srimad Bhagavatam sets, and you'll watch as it goes down and down and down and down. They're out there somewhere, 2,500 of them. And we've been doing that regularly each year, increasing our capacity by 23%. That's our goal each year. Why is 23%? Yeah, you can clap after we hit our goal this year. So, because we have an international benchmark, which is by 2026 to reach the capacity worldwide to distribute at least 100,000 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam in 1 year. Now, last year, worldwide, we were able to distribute 45,880 sets of Srimad Bhagavatams. And this year, our goal is 55,000 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, anyway, if you hear any talk anytime here in the temple about Bhagavatam this, Bhagavatam that, sponsor a Bhagavatam set, or give something for this or that, now you know where it's coming from. Okay? Forewarned means you're prepared. Louis Pasteur said, great discoveries come only unto the prepared mind. Now, speaking of preparation, we have various educational projects going on here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. And one of them is run by one of our senior-most and very advanced practitioners of Bhakti Yoga, Sundarananda Prabhu, who is a very unassuming character. If you engage in conversation, nary will you hear a negative word from this personality. He's always engaged in teaching people the tenets of Bhakti Yoga. He has set his home up into a school, and he has a whole system through which people can graduate from his school, and they get a diploma at the end. And so that's what we're going to do today. And while he's telling you a little bit more about his school, I'm going to sign these, because he was supposed to be here earlier for me to sign.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, we've been running this program called Gita in a Nutshell. Previously, it was known as Discover Yourself course. So, just to give you a brief introduction about the course, it's a 9-session course which gives an overview of the Bhagavad Gita, tries to answer many of the existential aspects that exercise us, like questions like who am I, what is the mind, how do I control my mind, and then is there life after death, is there a way to get everlasting happiness, and why do bad things happen to good people? So many questions like this that exercises is covered in this course. It's a high-level overview of the Bhagavad Gita. And we have had experiences where, when people go through this course, then they're able to enter deeply into the subject matter of the Bhagavad Gita and understand it easily. And So we had one session in Cupertino where we conducted this course, and there were around 15 to 20 participants who came regularly and attended this course, and some of them are here today, and we are very happy that you come all the way, completing this course and also coming for this ceremony and attending this ceremony in the temple. So one more thing I would also request is for all the devotees, the reason we do this certificate ceremony in the temple is because we want to introduce these newcomers to the larger community and also get blessings of His Grace Vaisesika Maharaj, Narakla Mataji, and all the other senior Vaishnavas. So please encourage them in their journey and give you association so that they can make progress in Krishna consciousness. So the sessions that we conduct, one of the sessions we conduct is a decision-making framework. It's talks about Vedic psychology. Of course, Bhagavad Gita has, illuminates our what are the different elements in the inner world. So this course talks about the interplay of the different elements with the inside that's inside of us. Like, for example, how the senses interact with the mind, and the mind interacts with the intelligence, and then what is the role that the false ego plays, and how all of them actually either they can be used to elevate ourselves or they can actually degrade ourselves. So we have this session called a decision-making framework, so which basically illuminates our inner world. We generally are more interested in what's happening externally or outside, but one of the sessions we conduct is called decision-making framework. It's illuminating the inner realm. And we also have many, some of the volunteers I want to just mention is Rohini Dalal Prabhu and his wife very kindly. Can you stand up, Prabhu? So they very kindly helped, in making arrangements, prasadam, and also Achyuta Caitanya Prabhu and Manjari Mataji. They also were very kind and so without these volunteers, it's always a teamwork. It's never the effort of a single person. So I really like to thank all these different volunteers for giving their heart out and making all the arrangement. So now what we'll do is we will invite, thank you, Prabhu. So we'll invite all the different attendees. So if you're here, please you can come here, receive the certificate. We also have a Bhagavad Gita copy for you. Rohini Dalal Prabhu, you can actually. And so please come and collect your certificate and also the copy of the Bhagavad Gita. So thank you very much. So we'd like to first invite Sharans Saxena, if you're here. Sharans. Okay. Konal Aliyeva. Yes. Thank you. Rishabh Agarwal. So some of them are also students from Stanford, but many of the Stanford students are not able to come today because they have finals week now. Rajashekar. Vamsi Gidambi. Debadri Das, are you here? Sri Mohan. Sri Mohan is this. Sorry. Satya Kumar. So we have Parth Shah. So he'll also collect the certificate on behalf of his wife, Haley. That's his wife, certificate for his wife. You can give, Parth, you can collect. Priyanshu. Anil Premji Bhushan. Thank you. We still have some certificates, but we'll give to them at a later time. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that one who teaches the Bhagavad Gita to the devotees is most dear to him. Sundarananda Prabhu, we're so grateful for your ongoing classes that you're giving to all the devotees here in Silicon Valley. And we'd like to appreciate you and your team's Herculean effort to spread the Bhagavad Gita teachings all over the world. Thank you. Okay, this is some errata. Well, it's not. I was right. It's the 28th September, but India the 29th. So I'm talking about Bhadra Purnima, the day upon which the Srimad-Bhagavatam 12th canto says, when you make an arrangement to give a Srimad-Bhagavatam set to another, you receive a trip, all expenses paid, back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. So we're counting down towards several things. One of them is June 17th, which is Bhaktivinoda Thakura's disappearance day, at which time we hope to have a good start on the Bhadra Purnima goal this year, which is to distribute at least 3,000 sets of Srimad-Bhagavatam. And we're also today celebrating, and we'll hear from a cowherd boy and a cowherd girl that are living in a place nearby that's non-different from Vrindavan, and who take care of cows, and they're gonna show us a little something about how there's a little slice of Vrindavan not too far away from here in a very beautiful place where there's cows and flowers and the beautiful vibration of Krishna's flute, and it's just a short drive from here. And it's one of the ISKCON of Silicon Valley new projects we're developing. It's sprung up. They'll also have a booth outside where you can sample some of their main products. Can you guess what it might be? That is correct. How did you all guess that? You're so on top of it. Okay, it'll be milk. Milk right from the two beautiful cows that are wandering in the pasture right now, and you'll see pictures of them in just a few minutes. In fact, you'll see a video. It's a really nice video. So before we do that, I'd like to see if anybody has a reflection from anything I said previously. I gave a monologue just a few minutes ago. And do you have any thoughts, recollections from what we discussed? Actually, we didn't discuss anything. I was just talking from what I said. Yes. Apargarangi's near the back. We have one here. Okay. And Apar is way back there. Kanka, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for your talk, and I'm very excited to hear about the cows and to see the video. Anyway, I went out there the other day. It's the most beautiful time of year. Their property looks absolutely gorgeous. So I love the part when you were talking about Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura and how he was so incredible to write so many books and bring back the process that Caitanya Mahaprabhu has given us in this age of Kali. It's really absolutely the only thing that can save us.
Thank you. There's a museum in Calcutta that we've visited several times where they've archived the writings of many great acharyas, and one of them is Bhaktivinoda Thakura, and you can see some of the manuscripts in his own handwriting, which is thrilling. And I recommend that you take a look at that next time you stop by Calcutta. Okay, Paragarangi. You didn't get the mic, it got intercepted before it got to you.
Thank you so much for the small monologue which you gave. But I remembered you were saying how in the marketplace of the holy name, the currency with which we buy is the faith, and the product is the holy name. So I wanted to understand how when we buy some product, we have different currencies like $5, $10, $100, and we buy products depending on that. So how do we understand that faith also has like different denominations, and what do we get with different denominations of faith?
Yeah, what can you get for that? Well, there are a few remarks made in the Shastras, or the Vedic scriptures, the Vaishnava scriptures. One of them is about faith in general and what it means. First, let's look at the word Shraddha. Shraddha means, it's a dual word. Shrad means the heart, and Da is an active verb, which means where you place something. So it's what you're putting your heart into. There's mindfulness and there's also heartfulness, which is actually more important because we vote with our heart. And our heart is the driver of this chariot. We go where our heart dictates. Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kahi Sudridanish Joy, Krishna Bhakti Koila Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. And this means that Shraddha, which I just mentioned, is seen in those who understand that the more that they do the practice of devotional service, the more they're watering the root of their existence. Which means, sarva karma krita hoy means we have a lot of things we have to do and we'd like to achieve. And these are all completed perfectly by practicing devotional service. And devotional service, of course, can be practiced by connecting whatever we do to Krishna. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, yat karashi yarashnashi yat johosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kontiyat tat kurishva manartmanam, that whatever you happen to be doing now, do as an offering to me. Also, the Brahma Samhita says, yadrishi yadrishi shraddha siddhir bhavati tadrishi. The more your faith thickens, and this is a metaphor given in many of the Vaishnava teachings. If you know what it's like to cook down milk, for instance, the more, you got to watch it. You don't want to burn it. You burn it. If you put it up too high, it burns, right? Cooks? Only Srivas cooks kheer. You cook it and you keep stirring it, and gradually it'll cook down and it'll become like caramel, from liquid to caramel or to burfi, if that makes more sense. It thickens. So faith can also thicken as well. And we're made of our faith. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, the 17th chapter, 3rd verse, that Shraddho yo yam purushaha, that a person is made of his or her faith. We see the world not the way it is, said Epictetus, but the way we are. According to our attitude, there's a lens we look through, and we see the world in that way, and we interact with it in that way. Those whose faith has thickened see everything in relationship with Krishna. There are verses describing the outlook of a person who's following the bhakti path, whose faith is thickening, For instance, Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaivad bhutvijanataha tatrako mohakashoka ekatvam manupashyataha. Such a person with thickening faith in Krishna feels satisfied with his or her life and doesn't hate anything or any being, because they see that although things may not be going according to my plan exactly, they're not outside the greater plan of the universe. And they also see how all beings are connected. And also, in the thickening of faith, there's a deeper connection with Krishna, who's our ever well-wisher, who's always there with us in the heart and with whom we have a relationship. And this is the best of all relationships, which develops as our faith thickens into a loving relationship. Not just a relationship of curiosity or mild or distant appreciation, but one that impels us to do some service. And then it can thicken further into a very personal relationship with the Supreme. And that's the eternal nature of every soul, to have such a relationship, which we already have. It's just lying dormant. And the process of bhakti awakens it. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhava sa saranavida nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam hridi sadhyata. Prakatyam hridi sadhyata means that by the practice of devotional service, as one's faith thickens, then what's natural within the heart is already there eternally. Nitya siddhasya bhavasya, which means a natural emotion of love for the Supreme, it begins to awaken. And this is the ultimate goal of life. So, but the thickening of faith, then we get the ultimate goal of life, which is all auspicious, full of pleasure, frees us from distress. And it's also something that is we're able to distribute to others. We have something valuable to give people, which is their sense of connection to the Supreme. Thank you for such a nice question. We'll take one more, and then we're going to chant Hare Krishna. And everyone is requested to move up by 7.2 inches, please. Kennedy would like to make a comment.
Hare Krishna, thank you, my loving supporters. You had talked in your lecture about so much about the history of our movement and the history of how we got here, and how our forefathers deeply believed in our happiness and coming into that faith. And it reminds me how in this material world, there's so many distractions that lead there. They teach us history, but they never touch on what's important. And what it comes down to for me is this realization of really our happiness is what matters. That's what Krishna wants for us, that love of the universe that strengthens our faith, and how interconnected we are truly with each other, and the love. It all just comes back to the love.
Yeah, living beings just want to have fun. That is Anandamayo Bhyasat. Our nature is to be joyful. And we're joyful in loving relationship. Loving relationship to Krishna, of course. We all have a relationship to Krishna. Just yesterday, I was on an early morning walk with one of my godbrothers and friends, and we stopped along the pathway to observe a snail walking from one grassy area across a section of pavement, which is quite precarious because there's bike riders going off. And we're just wondering at the universality of the inspiration every living entity has to go somewhere, to taste something, to enjoy the variety of the world. After all, at least I was thinking of the snail, what's wrong with this side? It looks exactly the same as that side. But he was making a long journey across the perilous walkway where people walk, and I see a lot of the ancestors of that snail who had been lost in such pursuit, crossing the Great Divide to come to the other side of the grassy knoll, which is exactly the same as the other side. So there's a way in which we all seek variety, but in the material world, it's all the same thing. They're combinations and permutations of the same thing. But in the spiritual world, there's true taste. Here, if you imagine, what's your favorite sweet? Rasgulla. How convenient. The story actually involves a rasgulla. So if you were to take gauze, any nurses in here? Doctors, nurses? Gauze. What's gauze? It's kind of like a loose cloth thing, like you can wrap around. It's very absorbent. If you wrap your tongue with gauze, what would happen if you then tried to eat a rasgulla? How would it be? NVG, not very good. So this is the experience in the material world. Although we want to enjoy, we want to love and so forth, that love is covered over by the conception of matter. And so when we have direct perception of the Supreme for ourselves and a relationship, then we enter into this deep, loving relationship which is full of taste and variety. Speaking of which, we can try it out for ourselves. There are various activities in Krishna consciousness that one can try, and try, see if you like them. And one of them is chanting. I think one of the most joyous ways of doing it is in a group. Would you all like to participate? Yes. May I have my instrument, please? My instrument of choice. Thank you. So we're going to sing a few mantras, a worthy cause, and then we'll try singing together the Hare Krishna mantra. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarna Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nidai Go Premanande. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki. Shri Harinam Mantra Ki. Shri Harinam Prabhu Ki. Gaur Premanande. Nidai Go Hari Bo. Hari Bo. Hari Bo. Nidai Go Hari Bo. So our vision here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley is that this community center that we have here, temple, is a hub from which we expand all over the Bay Area. Those who have some enthusiasm, who would like to do something to help expand the consciousness of the Bay Area. It's one of the most fruitful and ripe, well, let me start with ripe places in the world for the spiritual fruits to grow. I'll leave it like that. And we see it as open for spreading the universal principles that Caitanya Mahaprabhu taught. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to change the church you go to or the mosque or the temple, your hairstyle, your job, your clothes, anything like that. Just your consciousness. It should be a universal process meant for everybody. And you just have to add it to your life. Like all those products, just add water and you've got it. So just add this and then your life becomes productive and happy and so forth. So we'd like to spread it all over the Bay Area, and we have a concept of spiritual entrepreneurialism that we'd like to encourage those who have a sense for striking out on their own around the Bay Area. There are many different places and projects that can be done here. And if you have the wherewithal and the enthusiasm, this community here can be the support for it. And then through alignment, that you get the support that you need, that you have a place to come back to and bring people to if you wish at any time, so that they can also feel camaraderie with others who are practicing spiritually and so forth. So one of the projects that is especially mentioned by our founder in the 7th purposes of ISKCON is to start projects in which people can live closer to nature, and very importantly to take care of cows. Cows are a central part of cultivating Krishna consciousness, as known in the Vedas, and even in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Krishi Go Raksha Vanijam, that the class of people should dedicate themselves to taking care of cows. Krishi Go Raksha means that they should protect them, take care of them, because there's a very symbiotic relationship between humans and cows. In fact, there's a book a while back that came out questioning whether humans domesticated cows or cows domesticated humans. Because once you start taking care of cows, as it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam, you can derive all religious principles. That is, you can develop good qualities. I can attest to that once living in 2001, just after the, well, I didn't mention, you know what happened in 2001. I flew to India and I moved into a Goshala in Vrindavan. That's a place where cows are taken care of, like they're your own family members. And just living in that place, every morning I'd get up and I'd sit with the cows and I'd chant and I'd feed the cows and come over and talk to them. And they, just by being around them, I felt like I was improving. And so human society improves by taking care of cows, and the objective of our center here is to maintain areas all around the Bay Area in which we protect cows. And now we have two very expert devotees and entrepreneurs who have, in their own right, they've been very successful in starting businesses, and they have a beautiful property down in Carmel Valley. And it's been their heartfelt desire for decades, actually, to start a Goshala. And they've done it. And today we'd like to invite them to come up here. I'm speaking of our very own Jamuna, Davy, and Todd. They have 2 kids and who are growing up in that beautiful environment there. And they've also just recently opened their Goshala, and they're going to come up here and explain the video about it, and they're also going to talk a little bit about the Goshala project. Let's welcome them up.
Thank you, Vaisesika. Hare Krishna, everyone. My name's Todd, and many of you know my wife, Jamuna. Oh, is that better? Can you hear me in the back? Okay, thank you, Vaisesika. My name's Todd, and many of you know my wife, Jamuna. And we are so thankful for everyone's encouragement all these years to follow these dreams and find some beautiful land where we can share with you all the joys of having cows deep in nature. And I want to first start with that gratitude for everyone that's encouraged this energy and helped us along and visited the area and that space. So thank you. Yeah. We've been looking for land to keep cows safely and cleanly and healthfully for years now. And about 5 years ago, we found property south of here in Monterey, near Carmel and up Carmel Valley. And it's a 26-acre parcel with natural water. It's its own pure watershed, and it backs up against pure wilderness area. So the quality and the biodiversity and the health of that environment is something that we hope we can share with all of you when you have a chance to visit the cows that are now living there. We were lucky enough to have friends, a 4th-generation Swiss family who's operated dairy in Salinas since the 1940s, and we adopted 2 cows from them, a Jersey cow and a brown Swiss. And they grew up together. They're about 2.5. They had their first calves this spring, and they joined us to live the rest of their lives with us on this space. Jai. Yeah. And so it's a big day because we've been very busy preparing for their arrival, and we're excited to show you some pictures of them and the property. And this is the first time that June and I have both delivered milk together because we're usually busy caring for the cows on the home farm. So it's a treat to bring the milk up together to share with everyone today. Jai. Yeah. And our intent with creating this cow sanctuary is really a space for everyone to rediscover these places in nature that are very untouched, because we want to create a space where everyone, especially families with young children and young adults, can come and really take a deep step into what California was before all of this development. This is a really ancient area that's almost untouched. So we're going to have some dates on the calendar where families can come down and really take some time to have some experience and get in touch with that tempo and those noises and those animals, and especially the cows, because they love being brushed. And so Jamuna is going to speak more about how we're hoping to share the milk with the temple community and families, and also about some of the upcoming dates and projects we have to have families come out there and to kind of share this experience with the cows. So thank you to everyone who has been a part of this journey, and we really want to take this journey with you. So after we speak here, we're going to have a table outside where any questions or conversations that come up, we'd love to have them.
we do love talking about the cows, so please come see us. So along with, it's really an honor to actually be in the situation to care for cows. And we're new, but we do have some history caring for cows. And Todd lived on Almviks in Sweden, taking care of cows. But now that we're having them in our home, it's like the greatest gift to go in the morning, walk up the creek bed, and just, there they are, looking right around. And when I come around the corner, they just turn their heads right away. It's like, good morning, Hare Krishna. It's the sweetest way to start the day. And, oh yeah, their names. So it is interesting. They came to us and they didn't have names, and they didn't really know what it's like to have gentle touch and loving relationships. And Vaishu said, people just want to have fun. And then Todd said, cows do too. And it's like they want that loving exchange, and they're so personable. So to be able to experience that, we really would like you to come and, just bring a picnic blanket, read, chant, sing. Like just being around them is very special. So we did through surveying and asking advice on naming the cows. They did finally, after a few weeks, get their proper names, and their names are Malati and Gayatri. And so this is a project that's just starting. It's called Bhakti Farms, and you can find out on the ISV website about it. Our website is being built, and it's a nonprofit that we have been getting guidance from our board members from before the start. And so the board members are Jagarini and Kanka and Nirakula. And we couldn't be more grateful to have their expert guidance and fun throwing ideas around. And we really hope that this grows into an education project, because cow seva is such a nice way to preach and share Krishna consciousness with newcomers, and to really share that compassion and love in the heart. It just, like you were saying, the cows can change you, and it really is their effect on people. So that's our hope, is that it changes all of us, right? We can all use some changing and transformation, and also for newcomers to come. Actually, it's such a nice way for people to do devotional service. So it's our great joy to be bringing milk for the deities here and for the devotees. And there's a limited amount, right? There's 2 cows. So we're hoping to slowly grow the project, very slowly and thoughtfully, so we can continue to properly care for the cows, so they have enough land. And I was looking at them the other day and talking, I was like, we're going to grow old together, because here I am getting older, and the cows live for about 20 years. So really this is a lifelong project and commitment to grow old with this herd of cows, and I couldn't be more delighted. I don't know if I forgot anything, but I think we should. Oh, yeah. So we will, on our website, we'll be announcing, we want to seasonally have devotees out for picnic and cow brushing. We did the first one a couple weeks ago, and it was a great success. But just to come out and spend the afternoon with the cows, we'll be doing that in July one time, just so we can experience different seasons with the cows, and we will have themes. So that's how we'll gradually start, by having devotees out, but eventually it'd be nice to do more planned activities, day-long retreats and things like this. We really want you to feel this is an extension of ISV in alignment with ISV, that you're welcome there, and that you feel a part of it and you feel like these are your cows, Gayatri and Malati, and we can all grow old together. So let's watch the video so you can get visuals of the property and what we're talking about, and then we have time for some questions and answers after that. Oh, we have a question right now. Radha Vallabha Prabhu. Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Just a reflection, not a question. Myself and Hansupriya were at your place just before the cows came. And I just wanted to share with all the devotees here, like I grew up with cows. So when you were speaking all this thing, I just went back in my memory. Recently, we are driving through this Baker field or something, and I saw a lot of cows meant for slaughter. We just drove by. I was like kind of shocked when I saw them. I felt like it is a concentration camp. I'm sorry, I'm bringing on something very serious. It felt like a concentration camp, those cows. Very unfortunate. And I was thinking, we are using the milk from these cows. They're in so much pain, and they know they're going to die. And here you are taking care of just 2 cows, and they're giving so much. He was saying, Todd was sharing that they're giving almost 40, 50 gallons a week we are collecting, right? And I think for our community, it's such a good opportunity, to partake this nectar, So that's just one byproduct. I mean, if you go there, you feel them, you care for them, and you see the mother, cow mother, we can see and actually experience. So, well, fantastic, whatever you're doing. Thank you very much. And the milk quality is so. I have some opportunity to make bhoga for the deities. The milk I get from them is like superb, and the quality is par excellence.
They brought samples for everybody today.
Anyway.
They have gallons of the milk out in the parking lot that they'll be giving to the devotees if you go out. Ramananda, please go ahead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Here at Bhakti Farms, it's really nice to take care of cows so nicely. We feel so fortunate, and we want you to feel like these are your cows too, because they are.
So Malati is a Jersey cow. She's a little smaller, maybe 800 pounds. And Gayatri's a brown Swiss cow, and she's a lot bigger. She's 1,200 pounds. And they grew up together at the same dairy, so they've been friends. Almost 5 years ago, when we found this land, variation, sun and shade and meadows, and space. That's all the beautiful natural water. We fenced the perimeter of our almost 30-acre property so the cows can explore everywhere. We've also been reseeding pasture grasses in lots of areas, and this spring's been perfect with all the rains for the grasses. They're still green and sprouting. Welcome to the milk room. We built this space as a clean area where the milk can be quickly chilled after milking, and all of the milking equipment can be thoroughly cleaned and sanitized between milkings. So, I'm gonna go ahead and filter the fresh milk into the milk chiller. We got a lot of milk this morning. Chai. So this filters out any small particles, which is then chilled quickly to 36 degrees so it stays fresh and keeps for a long time.
Now that we're done with our milking, it's time to take the girls on a jump walk. And you can come anytime and enjoy this beautiful atmosphere here. Bring a picnic blanket, bring a potluck, and come give the cows a bath. It'll probably be like the best thing you do that week. You could even distribute a few books on the way here. Cow Seva is so special, really caring for the cows, and we want to share it with each one of you. Please come. Okay, so we hope you enjoyed the videos. Pre-Kishori put some editing to put it all together for us, so we're really grateful for that. And we will have time for questions in the parking lot. Is there anything else? Oh, Kanka wants to say something. I'm on the board. Yeah. Oh, yes. Kanka's on the board, as you heard. She wants to say something.
Okay. Is there a chance for everyone to get help in the way of, because I know this costs a lot of money to do this project. So I'm hoping that due to you setting up a nonprofit organization for the cows, that people can actually help financially also. I'm hoping that, is that true?
Yeah, we can answer all of that. So it's all through Bhakti Farms as a nonprofit. You can ask us in the parking lot if you want to sponsor. And there's room, there's still like 25 spots for devotees to get a gallon of milk a week. I don't know if you know about that program, but Surya Kund is the one to contact about getting milk. And if you see us in the parking lot, you can give us, we'll give you his contact if you don't have it. So there's limited space for now for that. Hansapriya was going to talk about that actually.
And I wanted to just say one more thing, that if you get a chance to taste this milk, it's heavenly. It's not ordinary. She just brought us a couple gallons of milk, and I don't generally drink milk because I'm kind of allergic to it, but I'm not allergic to this milk, and this milk is heavenly.
I second that. Jamuna brought me milk and yogurt and a loaf of her bread a week ago. I've been living on that all week. And it's amazing. The milk is naturally sweet. You heat it up and it's like a treat. And the yogurt was fabulous. Anyway, it's really, really delicious.
And we hope you not only taste the difference, but ahimsa, feel the difference.
Taste the difference.
Taste the difference.
Thank you, Jamuna and Todd. Yes. So we will have the table out there. Today, John and Jamuna are here to personally guide you how to subscribe. We will have Surya Kund Prabhu and Sri Gopal Prabhu has a booth every Sunday. So if you're not here this weekend, we'll be sending out email. Those who are watching online will be sending out email on ISV Connect with a link for you to subscribe as well. So like she said, we have only 25 gallon available. So it's a first come, first serve basis. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Thank you to Jamuna and Todd and Bhakti Farms board. For the cows. Hare Krishna. We'll all come by and see you really soon. Hare Krishna. Now we're going to change gears and turn this into a Hare Krishna dance party. So what we're going to do now is work together, pick up all the asanas and place them in the back of the room. And we'll make space in here by rolling up this carpet. And then we're going to face the deities, and we're going to have an artik ceremony for the next 24 and a half minutes. Thank you very much, everyone, for visiting ISKCON of Silicon Valley. Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale. Everyone, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaudavani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakti. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, please.
Paramahamsa Parivajacharya Astottara Satashi Srimad, the Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajacharya Astottara Satashi Srimad, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki. Ramacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki. Vaisesika Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Gir Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Dham Ki. Apura Dham Ki. Navadvip Dham Ki. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki. Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the Sammo devotees. All glories to the Sammo devotees. All glories to the Sammo devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga.
Requesting Narshringa prayers for Tripti Mataji, brother's son who was hospitalized, and Uttara Mataji's father's well-being and fast recovery, and Bhagavati Mataji's sister Muthu Salvi who is suffering from cancer. Namaste Narashringa. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Bhakta Prahlad, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Bhakta Prahlad. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Bhakta Prahlad, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Bhakta Prahlad. Gita Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gita Gora Hari Bo.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to the ISKCON Silicon Valley at ISV. We are so happy that you're here. It's so cooling to the mind and heart. I know it's hot outside, but because all of you are here, it makes it so nice and cooling. What we have coming up, Vaisesika Prabhu mentioned in today's class that we have a Bhaktivinoda Thakura's Disappearance Day coming up on June 17th. And that's great because it's around the corner and it's only 13 days away. And we know that ISV, we have a big, big celebration for Thakur. Like what we say, nobody can top the Thakur, right? So let's just hear from Malini Devi Dasi, who is our co-Sankirtan leader at ISV, and she's going to tell us all about the Bhaktivinoda Thakur's literature, which is right here in front of you, Srimad-Bhagavatam, given to us by Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. We just want to thank you all for sponsoring so many Bhagavatam sets last year. And we wanted to let you know that these books that you sponsored, the Bhagavatam sets that you sponsored, have been sent to different countries. And can somebody name a few?
Japan.
Africa? Japan? Ukraine, yes.
India.
India? Mexico, yes. Venezuela? Spain?
Antarctica.
We're working on that.
No, they're there.
Yes.
They're in Antarctica. We're just making a documentary about them arriving there.
Okay, there you go. Antarctica as well. So please give a big round of applause for placing Srimad-Bhagavatams all over the world. And that is all because of you. You helped us to send these books around. And it's our tradition that every Bhaktivinoda Thakur monthly Sankirtan festival, we give an opportunity for everybody to sponsor some sets of Srimad-Bhagavatam. And the sponsorship helps us to give books to those who cannot afford, at the same time to send to some strategic places where Srimad-Bhagavatam is not available so easily. Recently, we partnered with Latin America BBT, where we sent over 500 Srimad-Bhagavatam sets there. And we are getting reports, and we are in the process of translating because they're sending us messages in Spanish, thanking all the devotees, especially the ISV devotees, for giving them the Srimad-Bhagavatam. And we will make it available soon for everybody. And this sponsorship is very simple. You can sponsor for you or your friend or for anybody in need. And the sponsorships is, one Srimad-Bhagavatam is $250 only. So if you like, you can sponsor, and today is the opportunity for the Bhaktivinoda Thakur MSF. And also, whoever is sponsoring for those Srimad-Bhagavatam sets today, we are making a note of all those, and we will offer a special prayer on the disappearance of Bhaktivinoda Thakur at his Samadhi Mandir in Godrumadweep. So you all can participate in that and get some special blessings from the Thakur. Prabhu, would you like to say anything?
I would like to sponsor one set. Hare Krishna.
It will be displayed on the screen, the sheet, and we will be displaying the names of the devotees who are sponsoring. It's one Srimad-Bhagavatam is $250 only. And if you would like to text in to give your names, it is 408-515-5292. Again, the number is 408-515-5292. Yeah, this is this entire Srimad-Bhagavatam. If you do not know, this is 18 volumes, 12 cantos, written by Vyasadeva, translated by our dear Srila Prabhupada. This is the newest edition in German print, not in German, and it has beautiful quality of the paper and very small size as well. It's easy to handle.
Vaisesika
Yes,
Prabhu.
I'd like to sponsor one more set.
Haribo!
Vaisesika Prabhu. Okay, Haribo!
In fact, I'm going to be looking for 2 people after this that don't have a set yet, because I would like to fulfill my Bhadra Purnima by offering to a couple of people who don't have it yet.
Prashant Jaswal Prabhu is also sponsoring 2 sets, matching with Vaisesika Prabhu.
Haribo.
Haribo!
Okay, everyone can help by saying Haribol as loud as you can when somebody sponsors. It's a big deal.
Vijay Raman Prabhu. No, is that nice?
No.
Sorry.
Actually, my engineering classmate, Pavan, is here, and he just wanted to sponsor one set of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Haribo! Now,
Gaurav Prabhu would like to sponsor one set.
Haribo!
Yes, Prabhu, your good name, please? Ashish. Ashish, I haven't seen you for the first time, but this is a very nice welcome. Thank you very much. Ashish Prabhu sponsoring one set of Srimad-Bhagavatam. Yes, Mataji, what's your good name? Shruti. Shruti would like to sponsor one set.
Haribo!
Haribo!
Our dear Rohini would like to sponsor one set of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Haribo!
This is Ananda Mataji, our Ananda Mataji. She wants to gift one set to her sister-in-law's housewarming next week at Livermore. Haribo!
Abhijit and Mrinali would like to sponsor 2 sets.
Haribo! And this is Bhakta Zoe, would like to sponsor one set of Srimad-Bhagavatam. Haribo!
Now we know in South America, okay.
Naveen Prabhu and Charu Mataji family would like to sponsor 5 sets of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Haribo! Okay. There's another devotee, Naveen Krishna Das Prabhu, would also like to sponsor one set of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Oh. Anybody named Naveen who's listening anywhere, you call in now, please.
Ananda wants one more. Haribo!
Okay. Sundarananda Prabhu would like to sponsor 5 sets of Srimad-Bhagavatam for Vraja and Sadhu Vrindavan.
Haribo! Actually, I remember when we started doing the Bhaktivinoda Thakura marathon in the Bascom Avenue. And we had so many devotees going out and actually getting the pledges for the Bhagavatam, and the enthusiasm that was among the devotees was so contagious that I still remember that beautiful day. And I wanted to share that actually when you make that offering to Srila Prabhupada on Bhaktivinoda Thakur's disappearance day, you will feel that your contribution for the love that you have received from Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if you read one page, you will sense it and taste it. So please take this and give it to anyone you know who doesn't have it, or you find somebody who doesn't have it and give it to them also. Hare Krishna.
This message is from Balram Vilas Prabhu and Harita Mataji. They would like to sponsor one set of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Haribol!
Haribol!
Do we have anyone on Zoom? If you can check on YouTube, Zoom, Facebook, you can chime in from anywhere, from any corner of the world.
We'd also like to mention, at least I would, that we started a couple of years ago placing Srimad-Bhagavatam sets in villages in India. There are tens of thousands of villages in India, and they're being influenced in various ways. And when we've placed sets within these villages, there's a special educational center there. People of the village come and read it and become very connected with their original culture. We have videos of these people transforming the whole village just because one set of Bhagavatam comes. To us, it's not a big deal to see a set of books somewhere, but in these villages, it makes all the difference in the world. And as well as in South America, people in many of these places are very poor. When they get a set of Bhagavatams, it's a cause for celebration. They've been waiting for a long time.
We have Suyesh Prabhu. He's sponsoring actually his mother is sponsoring for her friend from India. Hare Krishna.
Haribol!
Okay. This message is from Jigisha, Vaishnavi and Om Prabhu. They would like to sponsor 2 sets of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Haribol!
This is Bhaktin Jagruti Trivedi. She would like to sponsor 2 sets of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Haribol!
And our Sundarananda Prabhu would like to sponsor 5 more.
Haribol!
Oh, Sundarananda Prabhu would like to sponsor for his mother.
Haribol!
So 1 set from online Zoom, that is Ishwari Radha Devi Dasi. Haribol!
Haribol!
Again, you can WhatsApp or text at 408-515-5292. Prabhu.
Bhakta ready?
Bhakta Brady.
Brady. Bhakta Brady.
Brady would
Brady,
like
5.
5 sets of
Haribol! When Srila Prabhupada came to America, he brought with him the first canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam that he had translated. He wouldn't leave India to come to America unless he had it in hand. And on the boat, Jaladuta, he mentioned that this would be the means through which he could change the hearts of people in the West and all over the world by the vibration of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. So it's a highly significant part of the bhakti movement all over the world. You just have a few minutes left.
Prabhu, I would like to sponsor 20 sets of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Haribol!
And I want to give it as a gift to my friends who are visiting from my college, so I want to give 1 each.
Haribol!
How many of you do not have a set here? Oh, you do not have it. Please don't be shy. If Christmas comes early for you, just raise your hand. Okay, please, who doesn't have a set? Yeah, please raise. Please see everyone who see these are the three devotees. Actually, I see that they do not have a set. So if you would like to sponsor and give them, you don't have to go even look for the friends outside. You will sponsor one. Amit Prabhu will sponsor one set. All the three? One. Okay, the first.
Haribo.
Haribo. Please collect from Amit Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Actually, you can pick up your sets on your way out at the table. So please do. And this is a message from Bhakta Brandon at New Brindavan. He would like to sponsor one set of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Haribo.
This is Rohini Dulal Prabhu sending the messages. Satya would like to sponsor 4 sets of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Haribo.
And Vamshi also would like to sponsor 4 sets of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Haribo.
And they just completed the Gita in a Nutshell course. Wow.
Haribo.
Okay.
Just have a few more minutes. We're going to invite everyone to come and take prasad together.
Yeah.
We're counting down. Do we have a few more minutes, Malini? If anybody else wants to take the opportunity. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, well, just to end up, we'll count down from 10. And if you want to take this opportunity, then you can stop the countdown before we get to 0. Otherwise, maybe another time. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4.
Your name? Pooja. Pooja would like to sponsor 1 set of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Haribo! Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7.
Prabhu, your name? Ashish Prabhu. Okay, Ashish, on the occasion of their parents' marriage anniversary, would like to sponsor 2 sets of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Haribo! Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7.
Rohini Dulal Prabhu would like to sponsor 2 sets for Nayana Manjari.
Haribo! Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna point 5, Krishna point 125.
Your name? Priyanshu?
Haribo! Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7.
This message is from Ananga Gopika, Devidasi and Mukharavinda Prabhu and Ramani. They would like to sponsor 4 sets for any students from SJSU community and 1 set for India.
Haribo! Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1.
This is Vasanti, would like to sponsor 1 set for India.
Haribo! Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4.
Your name, Madhuri? Oh, Deepa would like to sponsor one set for SJSU students.
Haribo! Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4.
I don't know the name, but they would like to sponsor one set from Vancouver, Canada.
Haribo!
Please type your name.
Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna point.
This is from Achyuta Gotradas Prabhu from Harmony Collective.
Jai.
Would like to sponsor one set.
Haribo, Chita Gotra. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna point 5.
This is Vasanti Arun Kumar again. 4 sets for India families for mother-in-law and 3 aunts.
Haribo! This is unprecedented. The Bhagavatam is going out all over the world. Previously, these were written on palm leaves. It was very difficult to even copy them. What to speak of have them in various languages around the world. This is an opulence never seen before in the history of the world. It's an opportunity to proliferate Vedic wisdom, the cream of all Vedic wisdom, that is, actually the fruit of the Vedic tree, to countries all over the world. Distribution, wide distribution, is the best form of preservation. In order to preserve it, it has to be everywhere around the world. So no matter what happens, climate change, geopolitical situations, the Bhagavatam is always available in the world. It's a way to save the earth and people on it. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2.
This is Rupa and Prasanna would like to sponsor one set of Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Jai, Haribo.
And the one from Canada was Vishnu Priya Devi Dasi.
Haribo, Krishna 10.
And there is a correction earlier. The first Vasanti is Vasanti Chellai, and the second one is Vasanti Arun Kumar. So they are 2 different Vasantis. So we need to correct that. Thank you.
Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna point 5, Krishna point 125, Krishna point 0, 125, Krishna point 0, 0, 125, Krishna 0, 0, 0.
For Sri Gopal Prabhu. 2 sets for Sri Gopal
Haribo.
Prabhu. Where is Radha Kripa Prabhu?
Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna point 5, Krishna point 125.
Someone is typing.
If you have sponsored, meanwhile the person is typing, if you have sponsored, you can collect your set in the corner of the parking lot here. We have a table booth there. You can pick up set. And also, right here on my right side, near the arch, there is a e-hundi, where is a tablet. You can just swipe your card and actually make the payment there. We can also help you to Zilli. If you want to Zelle, you can help us. We can help you with that as well. So we'll be out in the corner if you would like to make the payment end of today.
Somebody's just calling in.
So I realize that other 2 devotees, I know that you wanted a Bhagavatam, you can also collect from the table. Okay?
And we have our last countdown. It's not going back to 10 this time. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna 0.5. Gaur Premanande Haribo. Thank you everyone for your enthusiasm, for fasting until almost 6 p.m. at night. Now we would like to feed everyone to your full satisfaction. And while you're out there, please meet somebody that you haven't met before. We're meant to stick together here in this spiritual community and try to encourage one another to make advancement.
Dear Vaisesika Prabhu, may we request you to bless all the devotees who pledged the Bhagavatam today.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Lakshmi Nrsingadev, if you so desire, please bless everyone who sponsored a set of Srimad-Bhagavatams today. May always have a taste to hear Krishna Katha and be enthusiastic to give it to all others. Thank you very much for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Now we're going to sing everyone's favorite song after we have 10 seconds of announcements.
We have quick announcement about the sponsorships today. So we have 2 sponsors for today's feast. We'd like to invite His Grace Tulsi Vilas Prabhu, who is sponsoring on the occasion of his baby who arrived recently. His name is Arjun and he's in India. So thank you, Prabhu.
Hello.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I'm seeking the blessings of His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu and His Grace Sri Gopal Prabhu and all the devotees so that Arjun remains healthy and becomes a devotee of Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan.
Jai.
Arjun Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
And the next sponsor is His Grace Hari Sankirtan Prabhu is sponsoring on the occasion of his son Prahlad's birthday today. He's celebrating. However, he is not here, so we'll thank him for his sponsorship in his absentia. Hare Krishna.
Hare
So, yeah.
Sharira Vijaja Jodendriya Sahika Jivete come take prasadam. Thank you, everybody. Prasadam served in the picnic area. It's right out this door. Take a sharp right, and you'll be right there.